This is the Blackberry Passport. This is the latest from the folks out of Canada, and it features BlackBerry's operating system 10.3. There are a few things that actually make this a pretty innovative tool. Really interesting items like the keyboard, for instance. The keyboard on this phone is wide. As you can see, it actually is in portrait mode. It takes some getting used to. After a period of time, you do get used to it, but it definitely is different than their previous versions because they had a more compact keyboard where, again, this one is wider. And we have 3 rows of keys here with the space bar actually being in the middle of the 3rd row, which sometimes your thumbs actually reach down to the bottom and want to hit the space bar a little wider than where it is. It's a little narrow in the middle, but that is where it is. One of the innovative features about this phone is that the keyboard is capacitive. So when you're in an app, it actually acts as the kind of trackpad, which is a very cool function. It allows you to actually move forward and backward when you're typing, all kinds of different applications to the keyboard. And as you'll notice, as I'm moving around the app, the screen is, of course, touch. Very nice looking screen. You see that it's square instead of rectangular like many of the other displays on the market currently. They say that this allows you to actually get more content on the screen at a glance, which is kind of the idea with BlackBerry in that it's, focused at business users. So you're going to see that when you're dealing with this, you'll have more on the screen at one time, which in theory should allow you to get more work done, to get more things done as you're using the phone. In my experience, it's actually been pretty good. And especially when you turn it to the side here and allow the screen to rotate, it really does allow you to not have to quite scroll as much as maybe you do with some other displays. Me personally, I tend to like the larger display phones, the phablets, so it's kind of a non-issue. But for those of you who are used to using things like a Motorola, Moto X, some of the phones that may have smaller displays, you'll definitely see a difference in the amount of content that you'll get on the screen. The other thing you'll see is when we switched back to the tile, and you saw this in previous versions of BlackBerry 10, such as when we did the Z10 review, the tiles are similar to kind of the live tiles in that as you move back to them, they update with information. So let's open up, let's say, calendar. And then when you go out of the calendar, what you'll see is the calendar will minimize, and then eventually that calendar will actually flip over and give you any events, any updates. You see, I don't have anything coming up for today, but it'll update and give you event information of upcoming events. But the real star of the show with the BlackBerry Passport is the hub. The hub is where you'll find all your information at a glance in one place: text messages, your BBM messages, your emails, Facebook messages, Twitter messages, calls, everything in one place in the hub. It's really where you can access all your media. And honestly, that's been one of the things that the BlackBerry has always just been amazing with, and that is messaging. It's always been one of the most rock solid devices. That's what they built their pedigree on. That's what they're known for. And so this is really a very unique and very easy way to see all and get all of your information in one location. They've made it really easy to get into your messaging when you're typing. It has a predictive text that lets you just type and just kind of flick your words up onto the screen, and it gets to learn what you want so well that eventually you'll actually be able to kind of spell out whole sentences in some of the things you're composing. It's pretty cool. The other thing that is very cool about the keyboard is you can just swipe back and it gets rid of whole words at a time. So if you're trying to get rid of lots of text at the same time, you're going to find that it's really quick and it's actually intuitive. Just go ahead and swipe back, you're getting rid of words. So one of the areas that some people are finding issue with is the fact that you get this 3 rows, but you also get a row of punctuation and other characters up here. You shift, which also, if you hold that down, brings up the magnifying glass and allows you to move between the different letters if you need to delete anything. But you get this 4th row of characters, which allows you to put in punctuation. You're also going to get symbols and other things from that 4th row of content, the 4th row of characters. All in all, I have to say that the device is actually very fast. It moves very smooth, and as you can see, the screen is actually just really nice on this device. They've really put in a really pretty screen, and I think a lot of people are really going to enjoy this device as they've updated it. The camera, it's okay. It isn't bad. It's pretty much what you expect on par for a phone, a camera, or a smartphone in 2014. The other thing people will definitely like, and one of the areas that BlackBerry has been hurting in the past, is for apps. Developers haven't really been too big on apps with the declining popularity of the BlackBerry, but they've included Amazon's App Store, which will allow you to download and add any apps from the App Store that are Android apps directly onto the device. There's also a way you can sideload apps, but in theory that could make your device more open to insecurities. And that's one thing BlackBerry is really known for. And again, because this is generally business use, that's not something you may want to get into. But again, you can download and add apps from the Amazon App Store, and quite a bit of apps are actually in the App Store, so that you can get your Vine on if you want, Kick, all those. Although I doubt that most of the users who will be attracted to BlackBerry will be Vine or Kick folk. What I did find is Evernote. And some of my own personal favorite apps. You can also find Evernote in BlackBerry World, and they're apps in BlackBerry's native app store. So there's a native Evernote app now, which Evernote, if anybody's listened to me before, you know that I'm kind of an Evernote junkie. So you'll see that, again, they do have a native Evernote. They do have a native Remember the Milk. I also have that here. They do have these native apps, and that really makes the user experience on the BlackBerry Passport much more enjoyable. For all the stats, for all the particulars of the device, I'm going to include that in the full review article that we'll have up on myfoxla.com. I really just wanted to give you a look at the device, a couple of the features, the keyboard, so you can have an idea of what you're getting into if you're interested in this device.